Thank you. I am DC, and this is Real Talk with DC. I'm coming to you today because I wanted to kind of talk about some things that's been going on as we get closer to the election. We have the Democratic National Conference that has been going on, and Donald Trump and Joe Biden have been chiming in and chipping at each other on the national stage. And then we have things going on locally in regards to local government and school districts and schools deciding not to have classes, some deciding to have classes, and the great debate over that. We still have the coronavirus, which is running rampant all over the United States, and there seems to be no sign of an end. And so there's the blame game with what could have or should have been done to prevent it from continuing to spread at the level that it is. All of these different topics are going on. Well, today I want to talk about the importance of the vote, the importance of having your voice heard. And it's so important that I just believe that minorities have been bamboozled. How might you say that we have been bamboozled? Well, first, we weren't allowed to vote. We weren't thought of as even people, citizens in this country. We were given no rights at all. Then we fought for the right to vote, were granted the right to vote, and then there were all kinds of additional stipulations that was put into place and all kind of tactics used to discourage and dissuade black people from voting. The educational system has been under attack for minorities for years. They never wanted us to be educated and to understand truly what was going on in the world. They wanted to deny us the ability to read and write and to comprehend things on our own, and we've had to fight tooth and nail for everything. Even now, our educational system in minority areas are so subpar. Schools are not even getting new school books from year to year. They're not passing out books to kids. They're not even providing teachers with the resources necessary so they could, even if they wanted to, properly educate our students. And there's no requirement that is being pressed to cause teachers to continue to improve themselves and improve their skills so that they can teach our kids on a higher and higher level. You have special education students and kids that have IEPs that schools don't even take the time to plan for the school year to provide the resources that are necessary, and there's nobody checking or looking to make sure it happens. Our school systems are broken down. The teachers are faced with students that have no desire to learn. There's no discipline in the school. There's no God in school. And so the teachers are really left to fend for themselves, and with no support from many of the administrations of the schools or the districts themselves, they're left to flounder in a pool of kids that have no education and no desire to learn and no hope for a future. It looks bleak. It looks really bleak. And the sad part of this is that this has all been planned. It's all been strategically orchestrated. Everything that would be a building block to get a human being from birth to a person who could contribute in society in a positive way is being strangled in the minority communities, to the point where, like crabs in a bucket, everybody's fighting for the dollar. And if you can't get a job, if you're not educated, then your last resort is to either sell drugs or steal, which means that the black communities or minority communities fold in on themselves. Young kids, because they're so desperate to have something of value and to own, go after each other. They would rather fight with each other to prove that they're worth something than to work together to build something that's really worth having. And when you look at music, when you look at TV shows, when you look at the way that the educational system has denied the value of minorities in regards to contributing to how this nation was formed and built, when you look at slavery and how the greatest industries that were most profitable in the United States were governed by white people and were worked by black people and minorities. It's crazy to see when you kind of take a step back and look at what's been going on. It's conspiratorial, absolutely, because there's no way in the world that you can expect a good majority of minorities to overcome all of the obstacles that continue to be pushed in their way. And whether it is having authority in jobs, in management, denying that, whether it's denying educators of minority descent to arise to some of the most high positions in the district and utilize their skills, whether it's denying resources to schools and closing down schools because you're too lazy to come up with a plan and get out in the community to encourage the parents and the students to get their kids involved, whether it's school districts that are not exercising a plan that incorporates getting kids educated young and putting them on a track to overachieve. It is sad and it is ridiculous what's been going on. And so minorities, we look to see who's speaking the language that closely resembles something that may benefit us without real wherewithal to understand whether or not the people who are saying the right things will actually do the right things. Where is the accountability to those people that we put in when we do vote, elected office, so that they can make a difference? It seems rather that they get swept up into the political game, and because some didn't have much, or they don't have the resources that others have, that mighty pool of power and influence starts to infiltrate. Once they get a taste of it, they don't want to let it go. And again, the minorities suffer in the process. A few achieve much, and they don't reach back to spread the resources that they've been afforded into the communities where they've come from to provide greater opportunity. They feel like if they've done it and they've made it this far, then why can't someone else do it? And that's a logical thought. But they forget about all of the things that they've had to come over, and they stop looking at all of the conspiracy because now they can relate to the affluent because they've become a little more affluent, but never to the level of the people at the top. So what does this have to do with voting? Well, it establishes, first of all, that minorities have been in a position where they have not gained the information that was necessary, band together and with a show of force to cause change to happen, and they've been fooled and bamboozled into thinking that their vote doesn't matter. So we fought so hard to get the right to vote, and once we have it, we feel like the vote that we cast, because of all of these things that has been done and will be done, that the vote doesn't matter. So they get us to not participate so that they don't even have to cheat to win. Listen, black folks, I'm here to tell you, whether you believe your vote matters or not, vote. Because when there is an insurmountable number of votes out there for the candidate that you desire to be in a position to represent you, eventually it's going to be found out. But if you tap out of the process and choose not to participate, then you give us no leverage and no ability to really, one, affect change, and two, prove that they're cheating in the first place. I can tell you this. The people that are in positions right now are banking on you not showing up. They're banking on their small groups of people who know how important it is to vote, to show up at the polls to make a difference and cast their votes for them, so that they can see and be shown that they have support, even when they don't. When they get 80% of the people that are supporting them to vote and 20% of the people that would support someone else votes, and they still can't win an election, that would tell you something. Your vote matters. Sometimes we just have to have faith that when we do what's right, that right will be shown. No matter how much people try to steal, kill, destroy, slander, it doesn't matter. As long as you do your part. We need to show up in numbers, because the numbers won't lie. Right now, we're at a point where this pandemic has caused many of the outlets to vote to change the way that they do business for the sake of, quote unquote, protecting the community. Well, while they're protecting the community, they're also putting barriers up to allow people to have the freedom to get out and vote. Older people, the older generation, are scared to even come out of their house for fear of getting this disease, and that will keep them in the house. So then they have to use a different method. They have to mail their vote in. Well, by mailing their vote in, now there's another problem with the Postal Service. The Postal Service does not believe that it will have the resources to get all of the votes that are going to be sent in where they need to be so that they can be counted and applied towards the election. Problem upon problem. And here's the main challenge. What do you do in those situations? Vote. It's better to overwhelm them with the vote in the hopes that the majority of the votes that we cast will be counted and some of the votes from the opposition won't be counted. It's important for us to look for opportunities to rally together to get people out to the polls to vote in a safe environment. But more than anything else, it's important that we vote. It's important that we remember that if we don't vote, it's like saying do whatever you want, and then we have no reason or no way to complain because we didn't even do the little bit that we could do. And we've seen in previous elections how electing Barack Obama shows that the black vote made a difference. Yet they would continue to tell you that it doesn't. Even fool some of us into believing it doesn't matter. Barack Obama would not have been president without our vote. The president of the United States, whoever it will be, needs our vote in order for them to get into the office. So I say all of that to say, look, let's not be fooled. Let's not be snowed. Let's not let them pull the wool over our eyes and believe that us doing our fundamental duty will go for naught. Let's not let them get us to believe that voting is not going to make a difference, and so we don't even participate. And don't only do it in the national election, do it in your local elections. That means get out and go and hear what these people have to say that are supposed to represent you at the local level. See who they're affiliated with and what they're trying to do to improve, and look at their track record. Whatever you do, just please don't not do anything. Vote. Vote. This is Real Talk from DC. I pray that you get out, that you vote, that you get involved with the school district, and you make your voices heard about your concerns about going back to school or not going back to school, about the educational system, about the teachers. I pray that you let your voice be heard about every issue that's going on. We can talk about social justice, but if we don't talk about education, then we don't have people intelligent enough to understand social justice to stand up. We want our young kids to know what's going on. I want you to get involved with the school district so you can impact what they provide your kids to study. I want you to get involved with your teachers to find out if they're qualified to teach your kids, and are they treating your kids the way that they should to provide a learning environment. The more education you have, the more you can comprehend, read, and understand, the better you're equipped to take advantage of the opportunities, however few they are, that may come your way. Education can cause you to navigate through challenges and overcome obstacles so that you can succeed despite your circumstances. Voting can cause you to put the right person in the right place to advocate for you and your neighborhood so that a difference can be had. I'll say this. If you don't vote, the thing that you can guarantee is that you're not in control and you have no impact on what's going to happen. So you have no reason to complain. Once again, this is Real Talk from Pastor DC. I hope you get this message. I hope you share it, like it, subscribe to any of the platforms that you may see it on, and get the word out. Get the word out. God bless.